Today it's Shalima's turn, and let's clap and welcome Shalima Motia, the speaker of this afternoon.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's first have a round of applause for Miss Suchi.
Thank you so much.
There's nothing in it for her. She does it from the love of her heart, right?
I love what I'm doing. Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Before I introduce myself and start, I would quickly like to do an exercise. Are we all in?
Yes.
Okay. Now look at me and start introducing yourselves. When I say 1, 2, 3, go. And when I say stop, stop immediately. Okay. Now my name is this. I work here. I do this. Da da da. Whatever. Whatever. Look at me. Don't be shy. Introduce yourselves. 1, 2, 3, go.
Thomas. I run a business in China.
Right? So this wasn't fun, right? When we are listening to the other person with full attention, that is what is fun. Right, Deal? So for the next 20 minutes, I would like your listening ears, no picking up the phone, no getting distracted, no talking amongst yourselves. I promise you, you will at least take 1 or 2 things back home with you. Deal?
Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much ahead of time for your listening here. My name is Shalima Motial. I'm the founder and CEO of Dream Catchers. It's an event, theatre and film production company. And I have a very varied background. So I've been a fashion designer. I've been a cabin crew. I flew for 3.5 years as an air hostess. I worked in a PR company, then started my entrepreneurial journey, placement company in India called Stepping Stones. I helped 100 over people get middle management and senior level positions. And recession hit. It happens with all of us, right? Ups and downs in whatever we do. However, I took that opportunity of that varied background in different roles. I'm a postgraduate in English literature. I did business management. I kept learning from whatever roles I played and the education I took. Recession hit, Stepping Stones shut down, moved to Singapore. Now this is 21 years ago. I'm not that old, I started early. So when we moved to Singapore, I was really enjoying the expat life here. But then I started working when I was almost 19. And I was like, no, enough of partying, I need to do something here. So I looked for a gap in the market. And the gap that time was Indian clothes. So there were Indians here, but not too many people selling Indian clothes that were affordable. So I launched Shy Ventures, got back to my fashion designing roots. And then 3.5 years into the business, every Tom, Dick and Harry and who started doing this business. I was like, okay, it's not exciting anymore because everyone's doing it. Where's the niche here? So I stopped that. The best part was whatever clothes I was left with, I started wearing them also. That was the positive in that. And I always believe in looking at the glass half full. That's the fun in life, right? Whatever you look at, that is what creates your reality for you. If we look at, oh, this is so bad, it's so hot outside, it's this, it's that, we will always find those things. But if we look at, oh, this person's so beautiful, oh, I learned so much from this one, oh, this is exciting, that is new. That is what our focus will be on. So that is my first thing that I always look for the positive in life. Be it work, projects didn't go right, okay, what did I learn from it? You know, this didn't go well, no problem, what did I learn from it? So when you do that, life is easy. You all agree? Right? Okay. Now, let me ask you here, how many of you are entrepreneurs? Show of hands. Quite a few. Okay. How many of you are living your dream job? As in when you were a child, you thought, I'll become this. And that is what you're doing. Very good. And how many of you are sitting at the fence, I have this brilliant idea, but when things are right, when time is right, when I have enough money, when I have enough freedom, that's when I do. Lovely, we are all achievers here, so fantastic. Pat on your back, please. You're all living your dream life, you're all doing what you want to do. Okay, so coming back to my story, after Shy Ventures shut down and I started wearing all those clothes, I launched Dream Catchers. Now again, how to create that niche. There was no platform There have been singers and dancers and actors from time immemorial. So nothing new there. But there was no one platform across performing arts. People were either doing dances or singing or acting or being a musician, but no one was doing everything under one roof. That's when we launched this platform. Another lesson I learned was don't be married to your initial idea. Because I initially did that for a couple of years and I was putting in money after money after money thinking, oh, businesses, right? You have to invest. But no, that's not how it works. The minute I diversified, I realized that no, I cannot be married to the original idea because it's not making money. It's great to provide a platform, but at the end of the day, you need to see some money coming in. So then I started collaborating with other media companies, event companies, and by then I had invested enough in the market to be called nationwide talent partners for these big media companies. And we provided a platform through that, and then the money started coming in. Then again, a niche in the market through my project Runway Mom, which Mitsuchi has been a part of. Yes, she was a part of 2 out of the 7 seasons I did. This was a platform for women to shine irrespective of their age, height, size, nationality, and with their families, with their children, spouse, 3 generations. Hundreds of women got opportunity like that. They became entrepreneurs. They enjoyed that confidence that they gained from this platform. And that was again as a dream catcher, catching people's dreams. You know, that was the aim and we were successful in doing that. Kept finding newer ways, newer niche in the market. Superstar Singapore, Runway Talent Hunt, getting all musicians, actors, singers, dancers under one roof. And then I realized that I had a dream. You know, in the process of catching dreams of other people, I realized, oh, what about my dream of becoming an actor? So then I took training and workshops and started working in other production houses while doing projects with dream catchers. And then the idea came that, oh, why can't I marry the two? I produce events, why can't I produce theatre? And that's when again a niche in the market was timeless tales. There was either Hindi theatre or English theatre, either for children or for adults. We did Family Theatre Festival, which was from 7 to 70-year-olds. So 3 generations came to watch it. And that was really, really encouraging that despite things like acting, singing, musicians, dancers, theatre, you can still find your niche. So whatever businesses you all are in, be it HR, finance, whatever it is that you're doing, you can still find your niche, right? I heard Barack Obama say that there are 2 sets of people in any organization. One who will always point out, that's a problem, this is a roadblock, we can't do this, we can't do that. And then the other set will be like, how do I solve this? Let me figure out a way to solve this. And who is liked more by the company? The problem solvers. We all agree?
Yep.
All of us?
Yes.
So far so good? Easy to understand my accent and everything? Lovely. So it's been 13 years to Dreamcatchers. After 2 successful seasons of Timeless Tales Theatre Festival, COVID hit. Many of us suffered during that time, right? It's not in my DNA to sit and do nothing. So I was like, okay, lockdown, can't have audiences in the theatre, what do we do now? So we started producing films at home. By God's grace, I have a very supportive and very talented family, if I may say so. So I started writing scripts, which I had not done ever because, you know, the story in my head was, I'm not creative enough to do that. But when I started writing, I realized, no, I'm not so bad. You know, so I started writing those scripts. My very talented husband directed it. Dreamcatchers produced it, and I have 2 daughters, they are musicians. So they started writing songs, music for it. One did makeup, and so it was a cute little home production. And we sent it out to different film festivals. Because I feel that through this medium, you can reach out to a wider audience. It was so well received. It was on domestic violence, it was on mental health awareness. Now these are very pertinent topics. And then we made some films which were for entertainment as well. So even in film industry, it's been going on for years, right? But if you find something different, something unique, you can always carve that niche out. And now I've launched another program called the Dreamcatchers Show, where we are interviewing inspiring personalities. right? So, other than being an entrepreneur, I'm also a film producer, an actor, a model, podcaster, talk show host, and writer. Okay, I'm not showing off here. I'm just saying this out loud so that if there's any synergy.
Anything you can't do. So everybody was like, when you kept on mentioning what you had, and they were like, wow.
Yeah, so I'm not showing off. I'm saying this loud so that if there's any synergy with any of you here, we can collaborate and work together. Right? Now, this is about Dreamcatchers and myself. At the risk of sounding modest, you can check it out on Google, Shalima Motial, many interviews, print and video both on Google. Now I'd like to share the life lessons that I've had in the last 20 years which helped me immensely. And that has also shaped my personality into who I am today. Right? So before that, we will do a quick exercise again. So all of you look at me and wave with your left hand. Okay. Yeah? Yeah, perfect. Now all of you touch your head. Touch your head. See, I said touch your head, but I also touched my nose, so many of you followed suit, right? So what does this say? Actions speak louder than words. So despite my saying touch your head very clearly, but because I was touching my nose as well, some of you did that, right? So first lesson, whatever you say, you must do. Right? If you're committing to a client, I will submit this presentation by tomorrow, submit it by tomorrow. If you can't, tell them no. Don't keep them hanging. That is very important to build credibility amongst your clients, amongst your friends. If you're making a plan, if you're saying yes to a LinkedIn meet, say yes, show up, right? Then no excuses last minute, oh this happened, that happened. It's not nice. It spoils your credibility. Now, next thing I learned, as I already shared, positivity is super important. And that helps you go a long way. Some of us are entrepreneurs and we see a lot of lows in our work life as well. Things are not working out, clients pulled out last minute. If we just sit down like, I can't do this, then we are done and finished, right? And even as corporate professionals, there are times when bosses are rude or mean or whatever. But if we see the glass half full, that I'm doing my work to the best of my capability, maybe that person's having a bad day or off mood, that's their problem. We are in a happy zone. But if we let everything bother us, oh, this one didn't show up, this one said that to me, then our life is going to be miserable. Which brings me to my second important lesson that I learned, that self-love is a superpower. Now some people say, that's so selfish. Why should I first take care of myself and not my family and not my children, right? Some people say, what is self-love? It's a very cliche term, overtly used term. What is it, right? So in my humble opinion, when you are mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually and financially in tune with yourself, complete in yourself, sound in yourself, that is when you are showing self-love. And when your cup is full and brimming, that is when you can pour into somebody else's cup. If you are happy with your being, that's when you can spread happiness. We all agree with that? If you've had a bad day at work, you're irritable, you come back home, it's going to come out on the wife, the husband, the children, right? So that is what you need to see. Write down all these 5 aspects. For me, at the top comes spirituality. If I'm in tune, and everybody has different ways of connecting with the Almighty. It could be meditation, it could be your prayer or whatever. Spirituality. Then your physical health, take out time. Half an hour walk also. If you're working all day, stand up and walk. Movement, all of that, right? Emotionally, mentally, if you're bothered, see a counselor. Don't take your feelings or yourself for granted. And financially be secure. That's really important too. And that's when you give back to society and friends and all of that. Yeah? Third point, learn from your failures and your mistakes and your successes. All projects you've done, what went right, what didn't go right, what you can do better. And also, very important to learn from other people's mistakes. Why reinvent the wheel? right? If somebody's done something, it didn't work out, why would you go jump in the same ditch? Then figure out how to go around it. Why would you repeat their mistakes? So that's a fair thing, right? We learn from each other's failures and successes both equally. Okay. Another thing, my leadership style, which I feel helps a lot, is a three-legged stool. So I myself and people associated with me in my team, we believe in equally having fun, contributing and learning in the process. So when we are doing all three together, learning, contributing, having fun. Can we all repeat that? Learning, contributing, having fun. Yeah? When we are doing that, life is beautiful. Then everybody looks forward to coming to work the next day. Then you're excited, you're not like, oh, another day, oh, when is Friday gonna come? Because the atmosphere is so good. You enjoy yourself and you enjoy with your team. Yeah? Another thing important is networking. In this day and age, your network is your network, right? Great, this thing Ms. Suchi is doing, connecting all of us so selflessly. We are meeting up, different walks of life, different backgrounds. We bring in so much experience with us, right? And if we just take one thing that everybody has to offer, our life will be so beautiful and rich. So this is really important. And this brings me back to Sedu. If you commit to her that you're coming, show up. And show up on time so that you don't miss out on anything.
Somebody has reserved and didn't show, right? So that's how.
Yeah, and that's not fair on her. Because she is putting in a lot of hard work and effort into this. The least we can do is show up. And it is only going to benefit us because we learn so much in the process from each other. Now, last thing which is most important for me is love or fear. All of us operate from two aspects. Love or fear. Oh, I'm scared, if I don't do this, my job will go away. If I don't show up for this party, my friends will alienate me. I personally believe in operating from a place of love for everything and anything I do in my life. Even if it's meeting friends, it has to come from a place of love. If I'm coming to a networking meeting, it has to come from a place of love for the people I'm meeting, for the person who's organizing, for the fun I'm going to have, right? So at work also, when we operate, I'm going to do this project because I'm passionate about it. Brings me back to the passion aspect of it. I love my job. What I'm doing is so enjoyable, right? That is coming from a place of love. And that is when your life will become sweet. Then you don't feel forced in your life for anything. And that transformation only you can bring about on yourself. Now, having shared all of this, disclaimer, I am not a guru or a coach or a philosopher. Whatever I've shared here today is purely from my own experience. Please take it with you if you like it. Leave it with me if you don't. I'm totally okay with that. It worked for me. Hope it works for you. If it doesn't, that's totally fine. Thank you so much for your listening, dears. Really appreciate it.
Give her a big hand. And on that note, when Shalima is saying or claiming or let's share the disclaimer, I would like to confirm that I have witnessed Shalima's journey over the years since I've been connected with her 6 years, right? Yeah. So whatever she has shared, she's very true when it comes to her sharing, and she has already applied it on her life. So give her a big round of applause, and we are very grateful, thankful to you for taking time out to be here and have this sharing session with us. Are there any questions? Would you like to ask her any questions regarding her entrepreneurial journey, or you have any doubt or any question in your mind? Go ahead and do that. Yeah, time is.
What's the nastiest thing you ever heard somebody saying to you when you started?
Actually, I have such a bad memory for remembering nasty things. So, yeah, I can't recall any. Yes, so I take everything with a pinch of salt. People are saying great things, lovely. They are beautiful human beings. They are saying it from the goodness of their heart. Because the reason I say that is, and I also don't take nasty things personally, is because I put in my 101% into every project. So when you know you're putting more than enough into every project, you sleep peacefully at night. Then if they're praising or not praising or being nasty or being wonderful, doesn't matter, right? So yeah.
And I have yet to hear any negative comments from Shalima. You know, sometimes when we are not going through a like favorable situation, we tend to say negative things, right? She does all the time. She's still be like, yeah, sure. So, well, that any other question? That was a good one, but yeah, you can always work on remembering what you want to remember.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Let's go. One